Hey guys, it's Czar. We're doing something a little bit different today. Something extremely fun. That's right, it's a ranking video. So, as you can see from the title, today we're ranking Sailor Moon villains by how gay they were, which is the only ranking that matters. And we've changed up the titles for our tier list in order to have a better approach. We're starting with Love Confession on Screen. That's right, this is reserved for them being canon. You guys already probably know who's going there just from that alone, but hey, that's for them. Red and blue lesbians, reserved for red and blue lesbians, naturally. Should have been a lesbian. This tier is reserved for villains that I think should have been lesbians. A lot of them on this tier. I like this tier. Sure, they certainly were villains. They did exist. Straight. They were villains and I wish they weren't. Gross. This is gonna be the tier for people where I'm like, yeah, pretty gross. Finally, we got the bottom tier. This one is for characters who I think their design is ugly. You may notice this is ranked far below straight. That's okay. Jadeite. What do I think of him? I think he is boring. I think he is the starter villain of all starter villains. I think he has no personal style. I think he has no flair. And I think he has no boyfriend. Great. Put him in the straight tier. Nice and simple. One of the most iconic things about him was that when he died, he was condemned to an eternal sleep, and I was like, oh, we're not killing people in Sailor Moon. Turns out that was a lie. That brings us to Heavenly King number 2, Nephrite. Nephrite's most iconic character trait was that he was in love with a middle schooler. Always a bad look, and I think it was an especially bad look on him. That's right. He's getting below straight tier. Nephrite is going straight into gross. That's right, I think that was gross. So he dies, he gets stabbed to the heart, he bleeds out in her arms. I was like, oh, they're killing people now? Turns out most of the Moon villains actually just straight up die. I didn't know that. Love it though. Great to see it. Moving on. Zoisite. King. Love this guy. So annoying. He likes annoying his friends. He likes annoying his enemies. He likes being lovey-dovey with his boyfriend. That is correct. Zoisite gets pride of place as first place. Love Confession on Screen. He was annoying to everyone, but he was not annoying to me. I thought it was cute. Also, when I started watching Sailor Moon, it was because I had heard that there was lesbians. I was not prepared for there to be like other people that were also just out there in it. Hey, love to see it. Kunzite. You know him, we know him. Zoisite knows him. Kunzite dies very tragically asking for his boyfriend. Kunzite got stuck constantly doing these incredibly stupid schemes. I mean, all the schemes are stupid. He specifically had relatively good schemes, but even when they were bad, it didn't matter because they were all foiled by his own supposed partner, brainwashed Endymion. So at that point, I'm like, you're literally working with someone that's causing all your schemes to fail. So is that on you? No, but it was really funny, so he got points for that. And that, of course, brings us to Endymion. I thought about not putting it in here, but you know what? Brainwashed Endymion, he was a villain, even if he did absolutely nothing to permanently injure Usagi or any of her crew, and in fact actively switched sides to help them seemingly every episode. But you know what? That was a part of his charm. He was really funny, especially because he was constantly like, oh, I'm so evil. Oh, I'm so dark. Oh, I've been brainwashed. I think that more people should just say something like that whenever they've been brainwashed. Iconic of him. Sadly, though, this is not a tier list of iconic people. This is a tier list of gay people, and Endymion is so straight. It is so sad. Should he have been a lesbian though? We've already got lesbians that are into Usagi. He doesn't need to have been a lesbian, so straight for sure. No, he did a lot more than exist. We can put him straight. We can do that. Yeah, we can do that. Queen Beryl. She was all sorts of into Endymion, which also was already puts her at a huge disadvantage, and then her design was like weird, and she also never did very much ever, so not a lot going for her here. Like, who would be jealous of Endymion when you could be desiring to be with Princess Serenity instead? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So we're gonna put her down here. Maybe she's not straight, but I sure think her design did not age as well as others. Queen Metalia, the queen behind the queen, the one who was behind it all, the evil and darkness in the hearts of man. We're putting her in sure. Yep, she sure did exist. That is all for season 1. We are moving on to season 2. Ale and M. Now these guys had nothing to do with anything, but they do get some points for having fun designs, and then they just immediately lose them all for being a couple that pretended to be brother and sister while they were in school. It was weird. It did not endear me to them. They were sadly villains in one of the worst arcs in the entire series, which was Usagi and Mamoru's breakup arc, which I think sucked. So, Ale, he certainly was very straight. I was about to say earlier that I thought that more villains should have been into Usagi instead of Mamoru because, like, of course. But then when they started actually being into Usagi, I was like, you know what? Never mind. I'm taking that line back. They can stop now. And he was the one that caused me to make that decision, so that certainly is a point. We're gonna put him straight over here in gross. Yep, that's what I have to say about that. Kind of weird relationship. Kind of annoying how he hit on Usagi even though he was dating someone else. And he's definitely, I'm just putting this out there, you don't look like that and are straight. Thank you. Okay, his girlfriend, An. I liked her. I thought her hair was pretty. I thought that her actions were annoying, but you know what? We won't separate them in this tier. They can be together in gross. Okay, on to the actual main villains of the arc, the Black Moon Clan. This arc had so many villains, but I have all the time in the world, so we will start with the Spectre Sisters. Koan. So Koan's main thing was that she liked makeup, that she had a crush on Prince Rubius, who did not like her back, and that she was the main one going against Usagi for the first bit until she was tragically betrayed by her sister. Is that betrayed? Until she was not helped by her sisters at a critical moment. We love it when they do that. Well, I love it when they do that. She also wore purple, which is my favorite color, so she is getting so many points for that. My sibling looked at her and was like, that is lesbian, and I'm like, you know what? You are not wrong. There you go. You will soon be receiving a lot of company, my friend. Next up of the sisters is Berthier. That's right. Despite her not having much screen time, I actually really love the chess episode, so she's getting points in my heart for that because I thought it was cute. I thought her outfit was cute. I thought she managed like more character development in 2 episodes than her sister got in half a season. I like that she's an overachiever. I like that she has this like cute checkerboard dress. Maybe it's also because I just like Ami. You never know. So there's only one tier for people like her. That's right, you already guessed it. Should have been a lesbian. Okay, Calaveras. Sadly, the sister with like almost nothing going for her. Like she had a whip, she had an ugly outfit. She didn't have her own mini arc because she was always hanging out with her older sister. I would love to put you with your sisters because I do believe you should have been a lesbian. But on the other hand, your design, kind of ugly. It's a difficult decision, but we are putting you down here. Sorry about that, any Calaveras stands out there. Maybe I will change my mind if she was in more than like 2 interesting episodes. Moving on to the last one. Pets. The eldest sister. Love eldest sisters. Kind of mean. I love mean eldest sisters. In love with a guy who died. So bonus points. Should she have been a lesbian? Absolutely. I think it's fun when people go mad with power and cause problems for all the people they love, and I think it's funny when men die. Okay, we're just cruising through this. Rubius. Rubius was the first major antag aside from the Spectre Sisters. He was their boss. He was the one actually repping for the Black Moon clan, completely different than from the Dead Moon Circus, which is in a couple seasons. His whole thing is that he should have been a lesbian. His design, I saw it before he ever opened his mouth, and I was like, is that a lesbian? And when he opened his mouth, I have never been so disappointed in a character. It was so tragic. He was awful to all the sisters, but you know what? If he'd been a woman, it would have been really funny. As it is, he is so straight and so gross and so annoying, but he is still going up over here. That's right. Some people should be allowed to be annoying lesbians. Remember that. After him came Esmeralda. Now, there was a villain. I loved her from the moment she showed up. She had flair. She had style. She had commissioned statues made in her own image and used them in her schemes. There is a villain who is so far from straight that she would not recognize it if it hit her in the face. Love to see it. Saphir. Boring character design, boring person, boring relationship. He did die though, so you know. It's something. Rip. Okay. His brother, Prince Demond. This guy like kidnapped Usagi and tried to marry her like he was a creep. He was such a creep. He made the whole idea of going into the future kind of weird and annoying because he was such a gross and weird creep about the whole thing. Should invent a new trio for him, but no, straight and gross. I'll just no, or maybe we can just put him down here because he's really ugly at heart. But no, here he is, gross. That's all I gotta say about that. Wiseman, the schemer, the one with better art. The guy with the crystal ball. Yeah, I got no opinions on him. He sure did exist. Black Lady. I do have opinions on her. On one hand, I don't particularly like it when kid characters get aged up sexy adult forms. Like, I just don't like that. I don't like the idea that people... I don't like imagining the type of fan fiction that she got. On the other hand, I think her design is beautiful. I don't mind people turning evil and getting cool designs. So it's a bit of a split for me. But her design was just so good that, you know what? It had just been a little bit less... I don't know, there was something not sitting right with me about the way she was portrayed. But her design was so good. And you know what tier she's in? Red and blue lesbians. We will talk about that when we get to her blue lesbian. Wait for it. Moving on. Deathbusters. Great title. The sub-villains for this season were the Witches 5, eventually evolving into the Witches, 2 once they all started to die. But you know what? We still have the Witches 5 in our heart. Udio. Loved her personality. Thought she was incredibly funny. Thought that her schemes had a lot of merit, even if they didn't work out for her so well. I thought the fact that she died from having her own coworkers cut the brakes on her car to be, like, really funny. Like, what an ending. Is she a red and blue lesbian? No, we are ranking her firmly in here. Should have been a lesbian. After her, Mehmet, the one that killed her. Gonna be a common theme with these girls. You have to love it. Unfortunately, Mehmet's main thing was that she really liked male celebrities and she acted like a stalker towards them. Not good behavior, even though she has a really cute design. And I got sick of having her be the antagonist really fast. We're gonna actually put her over in... Gross. Tears filling up faster than I thought. Well, you know, I've got a lot of opinions, and a lot of my opinions are negative. So sad. After Mehmet is Telu, who killed Mehmet and took her place. Telu is honestly not very distinctive in my mind. She, like, had plant monsters. I like plants, though, so she's getting props for that. But did she have enough distinctive energy that I'm like, no, the series would have improved if she had been a lesbian? No. Billy, I honestly forgot she existed until I was making this video. I'm gonna be very honest with you. But her design is great, so sure. But a positive sure, like, yeah. Finally, Siren and Metalia. The two as one, our final 5 and 6 of the Witches 5, if you're counting them as 2 people, and our final 5 of the Witches 5, if you're counting them as 1 person. And you already know what they look like, red and blue lesbians. If they're 1 person, then they're getting honorary for their color scheme. If they're 2 people, then I'm right, and they are lesbians. Thank you for your time. We are moving up. Kaolinite. I loved her. Annoying secretary, creepy woman, resurrected from the dead just to be a caregiver for your daughter, but instead she nearly causes your daughter to get consumed by an evil entity. That is the type of help that we are hiring for in this day and age. Should have been a lesbian. Mistress 9. Well, now we gotta get back to this. You know, all the complaints I just said about Pink Lady? We're bringing them back. I love Mistress 9's design. I think she looks epic. Possibly even better than Pink Lady because I like purple more than I like red. Sorry about that. However, the same issues I have with Pink Lady apply here as well. I don't like it when younger children get more sexy adult forms. It's just not something I really appreciate. However, her adult form is a really cool design, and if it didn't have that baggage to it, I would be like, you know what? Best villain design in the series. That is how much I like Mistress 9. But most importantly is that Pink Lady and Mistress 9 get to be red and blue lesbians together because their base forms are also lesbians. That's right. I don't think that statement is controversial. I think that statement is, in fact, incredibly common. But if it is controversial, well, I don't care. Professor Tomo and the evil alien possessing him, Germatoid. I did not get 2 different pictures for them. If he's not possessed by an evil alien, he's not a villain, so that's it for him. I think that the evil alien was incredibly boring, but I think his design as a mad scientist is wonderful. I think it's great. I think he exudes huge gay energy, gay mad scientist energy. If you're not getting that from him, sorry, I can't help you. However, I don't have a tier for gay mad scientist energy. Let's think about this. Should he have been a lesbian? Yes. Last one. Pharaoh 90. Honestly, this is barely a character. But you know what? Barely a character is still barely a possibly gay character. We are putting them in. Sure. Okay. So, Season 4, The Dead Moon Circus. And what a circus it was. The first trio of villains of the season, the Amazon trio, consisting of Tiger's Eye and Hawk's Eye together. So one of them was into older women and one of them was into younger women. I can't remember which one was which, but both of them came across as like the worst kind of man imaginable, like, ew. So that's my opinion on them. Ew. We got 2 more for the gross tier. I don't know why they seduced women when they didn't really need to do that much seduction or in order to get the mirrors to work. But you know what? Ask not why men do what they do. The last of the trio, Fish Eye. Already know where he's going, so we'll put him there and then discuss it. That's right, Fish Eye is gay and on screen confessed to one-sidedly, admittedly, being in love with Mamoru. Very sad Usagi got to him first. Once people are in love with Usagi, they really change their mind about anything ever. But you know what? Points for trying. Overall, I thought his episodes were the most fun, mostly because he was gay in them. I liked that he had a better sense of style than the other guys. I liked when he wore dresses because I think his dresses were very fashionable. What else do I have to say about Fish Eye? His base outfit was like really ugly though. Like, I'm saving us all because I cut it off from this picture here. But like this puffy blue jumper, no, it was so ugly. Great. The Amazoness Quartet. Honestly, they were all pretty lovely, even though I hated all of their base outfits. Like, the circus outfits, I get they were supposed to be kind of wacky and circus-ish. I was not a fan. Vess. I love Vess. I love red characters. I think she was peppy and fun. But the Amazoness Quartet did not get enough character development from any of them, I don't think. Like, they had distinctive personality traits, but they didn't have a lot going for them. It's a common issue, but you know what? They were adorable. We're gonna put her in should have been a lesbian. Even though she is red, she is not a red and blue lesbian because all the Amazoness Quartet come across as sisters. Sarah. Now this one was distinctive. Sarah had a very flowery style. She liked being treated as a noble, rich lady. She liked having stuff go exactly her way. I thought she was cute. I thought her design was cute. I like her braids. Should have been a lesbian. Junjun. Honestly, my favorite out of all 4, Junjun was the one most likely to help out the people that she was actually trying to get mirrors from. The episode where she tried to help this guy do the vault all day, even though she didn't have to, just because she likes it when people do their best. I like her a lot. Should have been a lesbian. Finally, Pala. She's the cutesy one. She sometimes does creepy doll stuff and sometimes she comes across as just charming and innocent. Either way, I think she had a lot going for her. She was perhaps the most distinctive of her entire quartet. And even though she spoke in the most babyish tones, overall, she was adorable. There you go. We are in the home stretch. Madame Zirconia. I don't like it when villains are coded as Romani. Especially when they're also drawn as really ugly and evil. Not a good look. So I would put her in ugly because I think design is ugly, but what's really ugly is not the fact that her design is ugly, but that she was designed like that in the first place. Queen Nehelenia. Gorgeous. Love her. I love it when people are evil. I love it when people are twisted by the knowledge of their future. I love it when people come back and get better closure in another season, because this season was kind of a mess. 3 cheers for Queen Nehelenia. Does she count as red and blue lesbians with Princess Serenity if that's just something that I think in my heart? Yes, this is my tier list. I do what I want. There you go. That's right. We are so close to being done. It is season 5. There's only 5 villains for this season, and I at least have something to say about all of them, starting with Sailor Iron Mouse. I love her style, both in the suit and out of the suit. I love that she acts like a media executive, specifically a really shady one, and I like that her phone is always in weird places. I think it was a really cute touch, especially in the beginning when we didn't know who Galaxia was. Should she have been a lesbian? I'm actually really happy with the way that she was. But there's nothing wrong with it, so we're gonna put her right here. Sure. Sailor Aluminum Siren. No question, this tier was designed with her in mind. Was she gay? I think she counted. Red and blue lesbians with Sailor Led Crow, who we will talk about in a second. Overall, her alternating between competence and being a crybaby, I thought was a really charming character trait. Many of the villains in season 5, because there were so few of them, got to be really human and get lots of screen time. With a section of Tin Cat, I didn't like her at all. But you know, the rest of them, they had a lot of screen time, they had a lot of schemes, they had a lot of walking around in human outfits that looked epic. You know what? Love to see it. Love it for them. Sailor Led Crow. Love her design. Love her attitude. Love that she came down to earth to help her co-worker genuinely out of a place of wanting to help, even if that's not what she said. Sad that she went the same way that Kunzite did, where she lost the person before her because of the way that Sailor Moon loses its villains constantly. Very sad for her. Very nice for filling out the red and blue lesbian tier. There she is. Tin Cats. She sure is a tin cat on a hot roof. Not a lot going on for her. I like that she's actually competent at her job. Very rare for a Sailor Moon villain. I like that she is incredibly offensively minded, and I like that she thinks a lot about compensating for her co-workers, even if the way she says it and does it really just ends up causing them more problems in the long run. We love people that cause problems. I think she should have had more romantic tension with Sailor Led Crow. Last but not least, Empress Galaxia. Is she a lesbian? I don't know. She's got a lot of girl boss energy. I will give her that one. But is that lesbian energy? We have to ask ourselves this. And to me, the answer to that is no. That's right. Our final boss of the entire season is going right here. Sure. My favorite word. Well, that's that. Thanks for watching my extensive tier list of ranking people by how gay they are and a bunch of other criteria I did not at any point state, but I sure did use. Disagree with me? Want to compliment my taste? Comment down below, subscribe to my channel, watch my other videos, rank them based on how gay they are. See ya!